The government shutdown has now forced nearly 90% of EPA workers off the job. That's according to the Environmental Protection Network, a group that's made up of more than 650 former EPA employees. And some former officials are now warning the risks to the public health will grow the longer the government is not funded. Michelle Roos joins me now with more on this. She is the executive director of the Environmental Protection Network. Michelle, great to have you on with us. So let's start with the news today that the White House is starting to lay off federal workers. The head of the EPA has said, look, he wants to cut thousands of employees. So who is most at risk here?
Sure. We, as people that breathe the air and drink the water, are the most at risk. Because remember, this isn't a line item in a budget. These are folks whose full-time job it is to protect our ability to breathe clean air and drink clean water. There's two things going on right now. One is the furlough, like you just mentioned. About 90% of EPA staff are being told not to come to work next week. That started as of yesterday. But in addition to that, we're seeing the head of the Office of Management and Budget in the White House saying that firings are happening now, and they're going to be very substantial. So those are folks that will never be allowed to return back to work.
What kind of work do those folks do?
Everything. I think the most tangible thing to think about is an inspector. So somebody whose job is to walk around and make meetings with polluting industries to make sure they're abiding by the rules. And what we saw in the longest government shutdown in our history, which happened, 2018, 2019 during Trump's first administration, we have evidence to show that industry polluted more when nobody was looking at them. We had a significant increase in particulate matter, small particles that get embedded into our lungs and cause premature death, in addition to heart attacks and increased asthma attacks. We saw those big polluters from coal-fired plants, about 200 of them, increase their emissions during the government shutdown.
Yeah, that really, I think, helps to paint a picture of the impact to public health. If this drags on, what's your biggest concern here?
I mean, the biggest concern is that every single day this goes on, and I'm a parent of children. This is the uncertainty of when I turn on the tap water, is the water going to be clean? Are my kids at greater risk for increased asthma attacks, et cetera? So that is my largest concern. My other concern is, as they are going about these mass firings, no one is kind of tracking any of this, which means that a lot of potentially nefarious things can be happening that very much worry me for the long-term well-being of our country.
Okay, Michelle Roos, thank you for your time and perspective on this. We appreciate it.
Take care.